This video is about a group of people who have been well known in the community, whether it be from being high on the leaderboards, to making tournaments, very good videos, etc., where we talk about what we felt about the February playtest. Now, this was created by a guy named Hansel. He made a high council for Dark and Darker. Shout out to him, definitely follow him on Twitch, and if he makes a YouTube, be sure to subscribe there as well. Everyone else in this video, I have them listed down in the description as well as a comment below with all of their media so you can find them as well. That being said, let's get into it.
Good afternoon, good morning, chat. What's going on, baby? We here with all the boys, the big boys, the every boys, the leaderboard boys, the fucking big boys, big top streamers, everybody, man. We getting this shit going. We got 3 minutes.
Within a week, a month is going to be us just constantly using those things. And I think they are a little too strong to be, like, I just think damage ratios are too high.
So here's my thing on that topic. I feel like they're gonna switch like how easy it is to get that stuff once the game's fully out. That they're just kind of having this rushed way to get all this stuff so people can at least test that. Otherwise,
they've already stated that's the way they're doing it.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, they did say they were going to slow it down when the game is out for longer. They're just testing it now. But if those had like a 0.1% drop rate, like I still think that would still be fine because we'd still get them eventually.
Yeah.
Just to add to that point, like there's definitely a big problem with once gear is in rotation, there's no good reliable way to get it out of rotation. There's no durability. Like once there's a unique in the world, it's gonna stay there until like
unless you die
dies.
to storm,
swarm.
Yeah.
That's the only way like these really powerful items get out of rotation.
Boss fight.
Yeah, that did happen though.
Well,
that is true though.
Say, like the last 2 hours of the playtest and all the HRs I was running, and I had full artifacts and like the best gear in the game. Like at the final circle, there would always be like 6 or 7 players alive, and you could not loot anymore. Like you would fight to the last second, and then like all of those players would just be gear churned because no one could loot.
Yeah, that's the last 2 hours of playtest when no one cares anymore. They're just trying to have.
You have to kill them before the last circle, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, how did you guys feel about the unique named items though? I know they're a little strong, but you know, bossing is not the easiest thing to do in the world. But like Jay, I know you didn't. Did you get a chance to get your hands on one? I know. You said you would have really wanted one.
No,
but,
it wasn't unique.
So bad.
Yeah, that's true. What was that?
Ranger got 5 named items. Wizard got 0. Tell me how that's fair. Fucking dead.
Not even a crossbow.
They knew it was gonna break the game. That's all I got to say. They knew.
Good.
Game was gonna break.
Dagger, though?
That's true. No rogue items either, right? You got the rapier.
Viola, dude.
Yeah, the Viola.
Actually, that's fine. I don't want to get.
Yeah, I mean that's a good weapon though.
With a unique weapon.
A unique stiletto, it just like stops you from doing like moving or something. Yeah.
Barbarian got the weirdest unique. Like I would have thought the Barbarian's unique effect would have gone on a rogue.
Oh, the anti-heal. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Dupree, that sounds like a really good item to have. I agree with that. They was talking about like a soul render where you could take someone's soul and they couldn't rev.
I thought Famine
I
was
feel
more
like that's
a
good too.
Marauder vibe. Just kind of like
How
a
much
pillager.
Does anybody
Can we
know
get
what the values of pestilence was? Like, how much was the poison per hit?
15.
Lindstrom, Atex.
That's pretty. That's also pretty fucking nuts.
That's a Lindstrom question.
I want to see a unique throwing knife. Can we get that?
True.
Unique throwing axe.
Oh yeah, don't even ask.
And it comes back like a boomerang.
Don't ask for shit you don't want. Trust me.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that bad.
Yeah, Lindstrom. What were the damage values on the pestilence, Lindstrom?
9.
9
damage
okay, gotcha.
of disease default without any magical stuff on your gear.
Did anyone get to use the bow that had no fall off?
The elven bow? Yeah, I think so. I saw some people.
How was it?
I saw someone, they died.
The velocity was awesome and it was fun. The damage sucked. Made it almost worthless, but
I see.
other than that, it was fun.
Yeah, but don't listen
I mean,
to
if you're talking,
he almost one-shot me with it, so the damage was really good, dude.
Yeah, but
like
imagine if had that one go out, then you would have been dead.
Rogues, archers, and there's a third class that have a really low health value compared to the other, right? So it's all like class value, but at 9 damage.
Yeah, true damage on the elven bow was big.
10% for some classes, so that's pretty wild. Just for getting a free tag, you know.
Yeah.
It should be like that with magic damage. So for every magic damage, you do 3 more damage.
because of the tick.
That's
Yeah, that's
so you could definitely do a pestilence
you get a
magic damage.
plus
yeah,
20
pestilence
magic
magic
damage.
damage build. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like that's where the game
Holy.
gets broken, and that's
Yeah.
where I want to adjust
For
it.
sure.
You know.
But that's the fun point of having a named weapon.
It's definitely not
Because
easy to
we
boss
know
by
it
no
every
means. It's not easy to boss by no means. So I feel like it's okay. But yeah, I think there's definitely some stuff to tweak with the named weapons for sure. But I'm glad everybody's touching on the point.
If there's a one shot in the game, it probably should be named weapons, right?
Yeah, I mean, even
they shouldn't be balanced. They're supposed to be niche
purple
and fun.
bows with the right gear shouldn't be one tapping. Is all I was.
That's
saying.
true, that's true.
I don't mind a
Generous.
quick
Purple
fight,
plus.
but at some point, like you got to understand that the people aren't as fluent in the game as the top end of this game, and it's got to be fair to at some point. Like they can't just have an insta 1 second one tap at purple or blue even. Like I could one tap with blue gear built it right.
Wait,
You know.
what class were you one tapping with purple gear?
Well,
was it
you said
edge or
Ranger.
body?
Blue gear it was
Ranger.
longbow, yeah, ranger with
Yeah.
fucking weapon damage.
It's definitely a wizard rogue thing that you can one tap. I don't think you
Or
can
a
one tap
wizard,
many
yeah,
fighters.
a wizard with
Barbarian
magical damage
Hellion?
with zap could definitely one tap any
Every
low
class.
level.
I was one tapping rangers and rogues and wizards.
Oh, that is pain.
Yeah.
I'm glad it
I think
Zap.
And at zap's like what, a half a second, 1 second maybe cast. Try to tell me or argue right now that isn't broken, please.
It depends on the spell.
Not that really.
It depends on the spell.
I'm saying every single class had it. You could do it with wizard, you could do it with ranger,
Yeah.
you could do it with barbarian, you could do it with rogue. If you built the right
the
stat.
high gear, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not even high gear. It's just green gear with the right stat on it, which it was cheap. I was just shopping for like 30 to 50 G items that were really strong.
That's a good
People
point,
don't know what
A2.
they have.
That's a good point.
You know, like I was 1 to 2 tapping people with a dagger on wizard, just stacking additional
green and
magic
blue.
damage.
Green and blue, right?
Uh,
and it needs to be adjusted.
Yeah, I think the
Like,
greens
you should see that in,
specs
like,
are a little
maybe
high.
legendary or uniques maybe, but like green and blue, come on, man. That's
Yeah.
like, that's easy to find everyday gear.
Well, I just think right now people don't understand the value of +3 all, but once that happens, those items should be 500 gold plus, not 30 gold. It's literally best in slot.
Yeah. I mean, a way to make that like so much simpler is to increase the bosses, make them harder. I feel like they tried that, but it didn't do it as well.
I feel like
Limited time, limited value. Nobody really
Did you
knows
guys-
what they have. But
Yeah,
if the game
that's
was
what I
out,
think.
it would be more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, if they
I hear
slow
that.
down drops like over the course of the wipe, and then they also said they want to put a dragon on Inferno and move
Yes.
the Lich and Ghost King to Forgotten Castle. So probably dragon would drop uniques. Not
We haven't yet, Dupree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
hopefully-
how
That was an interesting spoiler.
change the subject. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But how do you guys feel about the new UI changes, the quality of life changes, like the new trading, the new little tavern that you could go in and trade and like talk to people? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? The new
Good
quality
step
of
up.
life.
Good step up. Anything in that regard, I think, is an improvement.
I know they had like a little bit of better trades, like with the added potions, you could get like 3 stacks, and then the trading was a little bit easier because you could like stop it from moving, or you could filter the items. I felt like that was really cool.
I'd really like a meeting hall dedicated to High Roller.
Oh, that would be cool. A trade just for the separate ones. That'd be okay.
Medium hall. Like
medium hall. Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm. It was hard as a solo to find randoms to jump into High Roller with.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and there is a little bit of a skill diff too, as if you've done LFG, if you've seen anything. We're all like top players here. We all played the games hundreds of hours, and if you've ever been into LFG, it's definitely hard to find another set of people that are
Don't team kill you.
Yeah, who are at the same level as you. So yeah, not only is it the elite Discord, something like you're talking about, where there's like a specific place to find other people on your skill level, but I feel like they should add that to the game as well, to have like a place where the higher players, not to make it like a status issue, like if you're top 100 you can be over here, but like if there's people in the higher skills, if you might have to add MMR or something like that, but people in high skills that want to play with other people as well. I feel like that's good too.
Players in the regular LFG group, and I've managed to get the bosses with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying everybody's bad at the game. I'm just saying, it's definitely not easy to find a team you mesh well with, at the very beginning.
the normal gameplay and high tier gameplay is two separate, completely different worlds, and I've experienced them both now because I did the competitive the past two playtests, and this playtest I really focused on fun and casual. It really is a completely some people are not like, and that's where you're wrong about the gear and stuff. Like, some people probably won't ever learn, and they're just in there for the fucking PvE skeleton experience, man, and they're just having fun. But yeah, it is very hard to find people, like, even though they have the LFG and they have the Discord, but people on the same level of what you're exactly looking for. And I don't know how they would apply that feature.
Mhm.
But it is hard to find people on the higher end of the game, especially because right now most of the competitive players already have full teams that are very, very dedicated. So it's like, if you're not on that guy's team already, you're probably not getting on it, you know?
Gotta work on your network.
Yep. And then, okay, I'm glad we touched on that topic because, you know, it's very, very important. To start out, I want to try this little thing for the next High Council because I want to keep doing this stuff. This is fun. Everybody here, I really enjoy having everybody here, and not only the top people, but, you know, content creators and friends that, you know, maybe not be in the spotlight, but, you know, can get there with people that are streaming or whatever YouTube videos. But I want to try this format. I'm going to ask one question, and I want to go down the line in Discord. If you can see in Discord, there's the names. You know, it's in alphabetical order. I'm just going to go one at a time, maybe 2 to 5 seconds to think about it. What was your favorite weapon this playtest? I know playtest has been different. You could say the unique items were the best that you came encountered with, but according to your class and whatever your playstyle is, Apollo, we're going to start with Apollo and then go down the line to Vaynard. What was your favorite weapon this playtest? Whether it's a longbow, a stiletto dagger, what was it, Apollo?
Well, it's not really one weapon, it's kind of two, just the rondel dagger and crystal ball.
Okay. I like that playstyle. Apollo Souls, what's yours?
I gotta say, it's gonna be outside my class, but I think the throwing axe was the MVP this whole playtest. I think that thing was legit the best thing I've ever seen.
I agree.
That shit was OP.
I agree.
Never
Azadim?
nerf that damn axe.
Bro,
I
Wizards
like
is...
the Morning Star because I can crack boxes since I can't loot chests.
Gotcha.
And I AFK at campfires. Yeah.
I feel like the Morningstar got a buff this playtest, like the two-handeds. Crosscurrent, what was yours?
For me, it's actually the halberd. I think a lot of people thought it was a spear, and I just kind of threw them off with the overhead swing at the start.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't like throwing people off instead of getting kills.
Good. I saw Orlanthe using that, and everybody made it better this playtest for sure. Depressed?
Yeah, the stiletto dagger by far. If they made like the throwing axe, like it could be like the throwing daggers from Rogue. It could be like not that fall damage. It will be better, but I don't like it right now that much.
So I know the blue.
stiletto.
I know the blue throwing knives are still just as good as the axes.
Yeah, but they fall too much. Like the first bow, I don't remember the name, so it's not that good. Only on melee.
Gotcha. I always like the crystal sword. This playtest playing wizard crystal sword was the MVP for me. Jay?
Favorite weapon? Oh man.
Yeah.
I had a god wizard staff bonk set and I was smacking for like 110 in the head. That shit was next level.
Was it on the cleric?
No, it was on a wizard.
No, it was on the wizard. Okay.
I was just haste invis. I go 1v3, 3 bonks in the head, wipe a whole squad.
Insane.
With the staff, really?
With the magic staff. It was a unique. It had like +9 damage on the roll.
I know.
So stupid.
I know one player that uses the staff for bonking, and that's Zanzibars. He loves using that on the cleric to bonk people.
But honestly, my favorite weapon was the pickpocket. I got a skull key and a golden key.
Yes, the pickpocket weapon.
The video.
Yeah.
So OP.
That was crazy. What about you, Ken?
Chain lightning count?
Yeah, sure. It's a weapon. I mean, shit.
That's my favorite weapon. Besides that, the crossbow. Crossbow plus ignite. That shit's a meme, but it's fun.
Yeah, crossbow was undervalued this playtest for sure. Latex?
It was recurve bow, but then at the beginning of the playtest with the velocity issue, I switched to longbow. I really liked it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know a lot of people had their opinions about the longbow versus longbow versus the recurve.
Yeah.
Lindstrom? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It had to be the recurve.
Yeah. We got the two rangers differing.
I
Yeah.
got to use the pestilence a shit ton, so that was fun. And I also
Gotcha.
like all the work they did on the named weapons, like the effects on the Fulgur were amazing. When you hit someone with poison with the pestilence, you could see like a ring beneath them. It made it easier to see them in the dark too.
The effects on the unique weapons were actually top tier. Like on the halberd, there's the flame on the metal part. The fucking the Fulgur, like you said, is got like the medieval art that was like lit up. It was crazy cool. I'm glad they added those to the game. Not because they're kind of broken, but just to test out things, just like the solo queue. Nizori?
Probably either one of the crossbows. Love the windlass on Ranger, and then I was doing Ignite crossbow on Wizard. Just crossbows in general.
Hell yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel that too. Strange man, Mr. Strange.
I gotta agree that it was the Franciscers, man. They were just insane this playtest, headshotting wizards. I think I killed a couple in one tap with it.
You killed me with a Francesca. I was so mad in the Goblin dungeons because you were fully stacked and I was naked as fuck, and I was like, this guy has no morals. No,
I had like 60 in my inventory. Like it was just unstoppable.
This dude was just throwing Francescas everywhere.
And if it wasn't that, it had to be Aegis. I just put the clip in general, but I actually reflected a wizard's fireball in HR and killed him with it. And so and that was my first time ever using that shield. And it made me want to have that forever. Like I will at this point pay anything for Aegis.
What is it? Aegis?
Yeah, the shield reflects magic for 3 seconds, so I sent the fireball back to the wizard and killed him with it. And I was in VoIP. I was like, "Do it, dude! Fucking do it!" And as he starts casting, I pull out Aegis and reflect the fireball back, and he just gets smoked.
Oh, that's
I saw that. That was awesome.
I got to use the Aegis at the very end of the playtest. It was definitely something different. That's for sure.
It's way different. Like I just think. And I mean, you could reflect magic missile. You could reflect the lich boss attacks. Like, there's a lot you could do with Aegis.
Yeah.
Do you have to aim it back at them?
No, you just hit it and they just smack it.
Otherwise, I could hit your teammates.
I mean, you could.
It has like physics.
Yeah,
like,
you do have to aim it. Yeah, like, it's angle based.
Also, you skipped me. But I was gonna say,
Nevix, my
the
bad.
Pulverizer and Aegis
Polarizer. Oh yeah, I saw you using that. That shit was crazy. My bad, Nevix. I'm so sorry. The ends really messed me up. They're buckled together. My bad. But yeah, I saw you using that, and the boss. I bet that made the bosses way easier.
Yeah, we can kill the boss in like 30 seconds with the Pulverizer.
That shit was crazy. Yeah, it's a Morningstar, right, or is that Mace? Morningstar. Yeah, see that? Yeah, I get what you're saying when you said the Morningstar was your favorite weapon. Yeah, for sure. That shit was crazy.
Sound effect of it.
Yeah. And there's like a little effect too, right? That it gave when you hit someone.
I think there's an effect with every unique weapon, isn't there?
Yeah, or like when you hit someone, yeah, or something.
You mean like visual effect or?
Like if you were to hit the boss or someone, they would have like sparkles or something. You know what I'm saying? Nope, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't get to use it, so I don't know. Nevix would know. Anyway, Spam, what's your favorite weapon, man?
It's gotta be the fist. As a barber, a dual cleric, now cleric and enjoyer, the fist. Like nobody sees it coming. Everybody's like, "Oh, what is he coming at me with?" Nobody sees you just straight running with your goddamn fist. Rangers try to run away. Rogues try to run away, and you're just sitting and punching them in the fucking back of the head with your fist. It's so enjoyable. Like you don't. That's why I love this game. You don't even need a weapon. There's so many possibilities. There's so many different builds and ways to play it. Like fists are probably one of the most enjoyable things I've found right now. And if you haven't seen it, Grayson just posted the world first Lich High Roller fist only kill. So go watch that on YouTube.
James TV, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Admin Grayson killed the Lich High Roller with fists only, and I watched that. I thought that was pretty fucking juicy.
Yeah, I feel like that was a really good counter to Ranger too, because you cannot outrun them. With the axes and the fist, that was like the only way to catch a Ranger.
The fists are one of the most lethal weapons you can have in the dungeon.
Yeah, I know Jay did a cleric fister. He was the Mr. Fister of the clerics.
Maybe they should have
I
a
wiped so
karate.
many 3-mans butt
Yeah.
naked with the fucking ale in hand, dude. It was unfair.
Yeah. Cleric, best class ankle line. Tryhard Scorpio. What about you?
So, as a no-brain barbarian main, I felt bad if I didn't run anything other than an axe. So I didn't run my favorite that much, but I really liked the moveset of the Bardiche. Yeah.
Bardiche,
is
okay.
nice, man.
Bardiche on Barb is fun as hell, but you don't get that plus 10 damage. So
No axe, yeah. That's
You just don't use that passive. But yeah, the second swing on that is so nice too. The stab forward.
Poke, yes.
Yeah,
It
it's
always
really
catches people
good.
off guard.
It's like the halberd. That's why it got used a lot too. Because did they? I don't know if they changed the halberd a lot, but it also has that stab second attack as well. But yeah, I don't know. Bardiche, I never got to use it, but yeah, the barb weapons this playtest were very powerful. It's definitely different.
The battle axe.
I can't believe no one's mentioned the quarterstaff, dude.
Oh, the
That's
quarterstaff,
my
yeah.
quarterstaff's all wipe. This barbarian shirtless with the quarterstaff.
Oh, that
running you down.
That man's running at 1,000 miles per hour. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's only minus 10 move speed.
I ran it.
Oh, Matthew, I meant like if they added a unique stiletto, the game would break.
Something about it. I just moved on from it.
It was. You didn't win a lot of your engagements. You'd like yes, you could move faster, and it was kind of necessary for solos to have one because you needed to be able to move. But honestly, you weren't winning a lot of those engagements. You'd butt right up against someone with like a horseman's axe, and you would lose. You know, because you'd have to swing on them like 4 or 5 times potentially. And they only had to hit you like twice, 3 times. So like the quarterstaff was fun because you could move quick, but it just didn't quite have the same damage. So you could run certain people down, but at the end of the day, it wasn't that superior in like a melee fight.
Yeah,
I think ultimately
those clerics I would just run smite and divine strike with the quarterstaff and have all like the scaling with it. They can run out as 1-2 tapping people.
I think
and
that
still
was the
playing
stronger
fast.
option. Yeah.
Right.
It was
All right.
really strong on cleric.
Yeah, the quarterstaff was some different this playtest. All right, Vader, last one. What was your favorite weapon?
Even though my weapon of choice is definitely the throwing axes, but I'm just gonna say horseman axe.
Yeah,
I love that for melee. You get a good one, stack weapon damage, and it's just click heads.
The one-handed horseman axis playtest was built different. That's all I got to say.
Hey, it was good last playtest too. Nobody believed me, but it was.
Hey, yeah. The fucking unique name horseman axe is crazy. The famine, the minus, the no healing for 20 seconds each hit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Piece me died when I lost at the Rangers.
Unlucky.
Who didn't even loot it?
The triple ranger comp, crazy. All right, that was fine. That was I like how going down the list, seeing everybody's opinions, and then everybody, talks a little bit about that if they have any opinions about that too. You guys, was that okay, guys? Going down the list and having people talk about stuff.
Yep,
that was good.
One point I've never said it.
I love going against crowns, so no, Hansel, it sucked.
All right, good.
Can I say something before?
Go ahead.
One thing that no one talked about was the explosion bottle. That thing was one-shotting everyone. At least what I checked. Like the explosion bottle one-shots everyone. I don't know.
I feel like the blue ones and green ones was crazy. I lagged out and stood in one for like 2 seconds. I was dead.
Yeah, definitely. That was, I don't know.
The hitbox on it was really weird, though. It was like the center and the 4 corners of the fire you could get hit by, but you could stand in the other bits and not get hurt. We did a little test on it and stuff. It was really wild.
Especially in doorways.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
The little drop on when you hit something and then it drops to the ground is kind of weird as well. But yeah, definitely does big boy damage.
Is it worth more in the shop now? Is it still worth like 2 to 6 while Lantern's worth 20 or more?
I think so. Yeah. I think I sold some green ones and they were like 6 to 10, something like that. But yeah, Lantern's easy money. That's all I gotta say. All right, I'm glad that was okay. The next big question is the solo queue and the Troll King. What was everybody's opinions on that? Because I know they added that kind of last minute. It was like, couple days before, and then everybody was excited, and then they got to play it, and they were like, I don't really know. So what is everybody's opinion on that?
I got a spicy take on that Troll King.
Mm-hmm.
He's an asshole, first off.
He's a troll.
I actually didn't like the design of it because it would one-shot you. Unless, like, the strategy was get
Saito,
naked.
Phenom,
and
thank you for
then
the follow.
learn
I
how to
appreciate it.
do
Sorry if I'm missing it. I'm
and
trying to,
then
you
could
know,
farm it,
conversate
you
up.
could free farm it, no problem. But the strategy was get naked.
If you guys
and go
enjoy
clear
this,
it. And I
feel
thought that
free to
was really
follow
bad.
and
I
type in the
thought
chat and have
it
some
would have been
fun. You
way
know,
better
ask
had the
ask
Troll
questions
King
for
had
me to
been
ask.
more of like a,
You know, I'm trying to hit 200 follows, trying to get out
kind
here.
of an
This,
easier target. But
if you guys want to see more of this, hit that follow button. We
kind of
going
deal. Like,
crazy.
oh, someone's going for the Troll King. Let's stop him, right? But instead, it was more of a that thing just one taps everyone. Don't get near it unless you feel like spending 5 hours to learn how to do it. Then take off all your clothes and just go wipe it over and over for free loot. So I thought they really need to tweak that thing a little bit. I think it should have been more like, I'm in the
I get why they
dungeon,
did
it
the
looks
solo
pretty
queue, but
clear,
yeah, I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
go
people had a
kill the
negative
the
view
Troll
about
King,
it more
right?
than
Or
positive.
whatever, the cave troll. But you would never do that with a full set of gear because you'd be out of your mind. First off, you can't really clear it unless you're moving quick. So like bringing gear to it's just a stupid idea. And then second, it's like you're just gonna get one hit anyway. So like don't bother touching it if you have anything on. So I thought it was poorly added. I liked the solo queue, but I think the cave troll needed to be completely reworked.
On the topic of the
I
cave troll, I
agree.
heard a hot take from someone that like I kind of agree with it too. If you kill the cave troll, you should have a portal down there to use to get out. Just since it's such a chore. I don't know. That's just what someone told me. I thought it made sense because it's like
I think the same
since the
thing should
levels
be
are so
done.
painful.
Yeah.
I think the
I-
same
I-
thing should be done in the normal game mode at the bosses on the second floor.
Yes.
Give us a 3 down portal or like out portal to just take if we kill the boss.
Reward for the risk.
If you
So
get
either
if you get a
you-
lot of extra though, then you're gonna get a lot more people teaming up to kill the final bosses there. Because
Yeah.
if you had an extra 3 down there, you'd have a lot more teams grouping up together, which is probably not within the spirit of the game. You wouldn't want 6 portals to appear, right?
Normally now there's 6 at the very end of floor
I thought it was
2.
4. Isn't it
Aren't
4?
there 5?
There used to be 4. I
4,
think
5,
now it's
6.
Well, there's 6. 'Cause actually, I know because we had a team of 3 get out with us.
Yeah.
They were just hiding in the corner, and we spared them after we killed the boss.
Mhm.
Okay.
I feel like there's a discrepancy on the how many portals were in High Roller Hell as well, and not only the normal Hell.
Yeah, in High Roller Hell, it was 5.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times where in the High Roller Hell, especially, the portals would get stuck inside of the map,
Ugh.
and you couldn't like reach them. If anybody experienced the portal getting stuck in the stairs, it was not okay. But yeah, Troll King. I don't know. I didn't really get to play it, but I know people had mixed opinions about it, and I wonder if they're gonna add a new boss. If they're gonna take it out, maybe continue with the solo queue. That's kind of different, but if everybody had a good time with it, that's the whole main point.
I just think the big bosses at the end of Hell are a little bit more interesting because you got to be more geared. You got to pay attention to mechanics. You get hit and you heal it up, or you deal with it. But the Troll King, the cave troll, was more just like a don't get touched. If you get touched, you're probably dead. And I just didn't like the design of that.
Gotcha.
I think I don't know how I feel about its balancing and everything, but I really do enjoy there being a solo based boss. But as a barbarian, like you could even do it as a barbarian, but it's really hard as a barbarian. You can't really make any mistakes, and the way to do it as a barb feels super cheesy. And I don't like the fact that a lot of the strategies to fight the troll feel cheesy.
Yeah.
I would enjoy it more if it felt more like I was reacting to the swings, which you are even in the cheese strat, but it involves a lot of just crouching in the crotch until he does like certain attacks that you can't crouch there for. It just feels weird. So I'd appreciate it if it was designed maybe a little bit slower so that you couldn't crouch in the crotch, but you would have to react to which direction the swing's coming from to duck or jump, which feels like what they're going for. So I think that's what they're going to end up doing down the road anyways. But right now it just doesn't seem like it's there.
Yeah, I just think less of a, honestly, as weird as it sounds, less of a challenge, more of a risk. Like, oh, I'm gonna go take it on. It's a risk to take it on. But right now it was just sort of like learn the animations, and do it perfectly, or And honestly, I don't think I saw a single person geared go down and try it. I spent, I don't know, I probably did a decent amount of the goblin caves. And yeah, I only saw nakeds down there. I attempted it. I was naked every time. It just didn't seem like properly built for what the game's going for.
Yeah, unless you use proximity chat. That was like the only time I went with gear down there. But even so, that didn't work because there'd just be 5 other dead people before I die.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah.
Which is fine. It's a great way to get loot if you needed it.
Yeah, I think
no.
you're right. I didn't see many people going geared, trying to fight the troll king. So
no, you needed to be fast. You had to be like max move. Not you didn't have to be max movement, but pretty much. It was stupid if you were wearing any piece of gear because the thing just swung fast and it would one tap you.
right. Yeah, and I know that the loot wasn't as good as people were expecting as well for those mechanics.
I love the solo dungeon. Like I went down there a lot. Never once did I ever try to the Troll King actually, like straight up.
Right.
I went in there once chasing a dude. When I'm in there once like with a dude to see if he could do it. Like while I was buffing him as a cleric, and nope, didn't even care for the cave troll. I just didn't have people to play with on a consistent basis, and it was cool seeing people team up and people who are absolutely clueless, and then also seeing people who are super geared just like I was. Like there was a lot of experiences where you knew where you weren't getting 3v1, and that's where I love solo dungeons. Like I don't give a fuck for the boss experience. We can get that in team dungeons, and you can have to team up for that. I don't care about anything else other than the fact that it's a place where you know that you can learn the game without absolutely getting ganged up on within the first minute or 5 minutes of the game without knowing absolutely anything. So that was pretty important to me. I had a good time in it. I saw a lot of cool new people. I met a lot of I killed everybody. I pretty much just made friends down there. But
I saw you doing
I
the
had
bait
a
and
lot
switch.
of good times. I had a lot of good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we all have mixed opinions and if it's good or bad. But I'm glad that the solo queue is working out for people that really wanted to do it. So another question.
Can I speak on that real quick, Connor?
You're good for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that solo queue is going to be I feel like it's going to be an introduction to a lot of people to the game. So I wonder if they're ever going to do gear limitations with solo queue and have solar high roller for people that want to do that, because I can't see people, coming into the game trying to learn it and, people just running them down.
Right. I gotcha. I feel that.
Yes, I can add something to
That's the
follow
best
up.
experience.
Yeah, go ahead. Of course. Nevix.
Is my mic good?
Yeah, you're good. Nevix and
Okay.
Kin.
I liked it because when my team was off or something, I could go and try another class and level it up in there, and it's wasn't too punchy. I don't throw my teammates gear, right? I could just go in alone and learn a new class and level. So it was pretty chill.
And that's where I feel the gear limitation would be a lot helpful for people just learning and experiencing versus just, constantly being at threat of someone that's just going to roll them.
Right. Yeah.
Matchmaking in general, that's not a bad idea, depending on how they implement it, of course. Since I think gear is huge on how you quickly can kill someone, like the 3 seconds or the 1 tapping. Not entirely sure how they're going to implement that best, but just something to consider.
All right. Next topic. I don't mean to interrupt, but leaderboard grind versus solo play. I know people were, solo play this time around. This playtest was not the best compared to last couple playtests, and I know that the leaderboard grind was a little bit harder this time, not only dealing with hackers, but more players being more experienced, and just overall more stress because of the importance of the leaderboard, what was placed on it. So I know Jay, you haven't been speaking a lot. Vaynerd, Apollo, what do you guys feel? How you guys feel about the leaderboard pushing and then the solo gameplay? If you guys play solo.
Well, it's definitely a lot more sweaty. People knew how to play the game a lot more, especially the last couple hours of the playtest were some of the sweatiest lobbies. I think I had one lobby where it was just we load in, start fighting a team, and we're fighting all 5 other teams until the end of the circle. We don't even have time to loot. It was a lot more sweaty, and a couple of days I was just LFGing, and I lost a lot of gear from doing that. Last playtest I did that, and I was able to just solo carry.
Gotcha.
And
yeah.
so solo play is definitely really, really difficult. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it's different for other classes, but Wizard it felt near impossible.
Mm-hmm. I know Jay and So Bad, you guys do play a little bit or a lot of solo play. What do you guys feel about the solo play versus leaderboard this time around, this play test? Jay.
I don't know. I feel like I did it before with fairly minimal gear, and they just completely gutted that out. So it made that alone made it impossible because As a solo, you just don't have gear. You just don't. IMO, of course, but
Yeah, I feel like
and with Wizard right now, you need gear to kill anybody. So not having gear as a solo, it's just like impossible, I think. And the spawns are completely shit. I can't tell you how many times I'd spawn within 10 steps of 2 different 3-mans that would just like insta-rush me. That was not a thing last playtest.
Yep, I know the spawns and the gear discrepancies were hard for solo.
Between the gear and like, I don't know what it is. Barbs were running me down while I was hasted. They were literally just faster than me. That shit's just impossible. You can't kill a barb anymore. Barbs were basically free kills before, but now they just don't die. Unless
Yeah,
you have
they just stat
disgusting
check
gear.
you.
Yeah, I agree. The quarterstaff and barb going 30 miles an hour with ability is definitely a problem.
I cannot tell you how many barbs put their weapon away and they would just fist me full speed while I'm haste, like invis, running for my life. They'd chase me one corner of the map to the next, and they were just keeping up the whole time.
Yep.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yep. Even rogues had to struggle with that. Sorry, so bad.
No, that's all right. I agree with that sort of, but Wizard is the only class in the game that has haste not on cooldown. So there's actually no way any class should catch Wizard since they have 4 haste and every other class has 1 haste that's on like a 20 or 30-second cooldown.
Yeah, they shouldn't. That's
They
the key
shouldn't, but
word
they
there.
can also throw
Shouldn't.
stuff, but so
Yeah,
can the
they
Wizard.
should be able to outrun them.
So the Wizard
That was
needs to
not
do
the
a
case.
180 jump throw with a throwing dagger to slow the barb and then keep going.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes both ways, and it's like very, very. I mean, that's like the highest expression of skill in the game is doing something like that.
Mhm.
But personally, I thought having watched Jay do a lot of solo Wizard things, and then watching Spud Hunter actually make top 10 in the world, 100% solo, makes me think that it is totally possible. But of course, it's going to be like a playtime thing. It's going to be a skill thing. It's going to be like luck.
Ranger versus
That's
Wizard.
treasure collector, not killer, no?
I think
It's okay. We all go for our
VA,
things.
wasn't it?
It's VA. We all go for our one stat that we want the most. You know, I'm sure there's easier stuff for certain classes. So
Ranger.
I wouldn't put much more importance. Say Jay getting the #1 kills or Kenobi getting #1 kills versus Latex getting the #1 boss kills. We all going for the same whatever stat we're going for. They're all important in their own means, right? So if you were to say, oh, I got more kills than you, I'm better, but someone got more VA points than you, then you can't really say that, because at the end of the day, they got more than whatever that stat is. They got more than you, so you just got to respect the fact, So I don't want this prejudice going around.
Justification for your treasure points?
No. I just don't want the prejudice going around for which stat. Like, Orlanthe got #1 treasure collector, and you got to respect that.
If he did that solo, then that means to me that soloing is possible because
I just want to chime in real quick because while Spud is an absolute god, right?
Yeah, Spud is cool guy.
He did not get #1 or top 10 in kills solo, right? He was on the leaderboard for treasure, and I was playing the same game. I was doing barb solo, and I was on there. I was like top 30 or something, but it was torture. It was absolute torture, and I get like watching other people try and do it. There were almost no solos now in High Roller. Like because of the opening of a solo dungeon, a lot more solos were in the solo dungeon instead of running High Roller solo. So the actual like number of targets you could go for was so low. I remember like it was like day 2 or day 3, and I was like, dude, I'm playing like shit. I'm just doing so bad. And then I looked and I compared, and I was right, like similar kills with Spud, and I felt so good about myself because like he's damn good at the game, and I was like, I guess I'm not doing that bad. It's just really difficult. And it was, I don't know, in my opinion, not fun at all. Like trying to push leaderboard alone was absolute torture, in my opinion. Like and last playtest, it wasn't anywhere near like that. And pretty much what Jay said is you used to be able to kind of just like budget run it and you'd still be able to get stuff done. This time around, you had to have gear. So it just felt like you were constantly like trying to get, and I watched Spud a bunch too, he would have to constantly go back to regulars just to get the gear, just to go into High Roller, to be able to maybe pull off a kill, and then you just get run down by a barb getting boosted speed-wise, and it was over, and you just back to square one. Let me go get some more gear again, so hopefully I can get a kill. It was a lot harder than before, in my opinion.
I think everybody's solo.
That's how it should be, though.
Yeah, I think everybody solo felt that this playtest, 100%.
How would you guys feel about just a solo leaderboard compared to a general leaderboard then? Because like the devs and quite clearly the game is not built on the solo experience, and I can understand wanting to do that on your own terms or because that's what you want to do, but in
Well, I'm not
terms
saying it
like
should or shouldn't be that way. I'm just saying what it was compared to what
Yeah,
it used
he's
to
just
be.
saying his
It's like,
experience was bad, and I
would-
feel like that was a lot of people's for solo.
would solo leaderboards alleviate that pain for you? Then is my question. Would like a solo leaderboard presence
I don't
be
think
like?
so.
I think it depends on if you're pushing it.
You're not terrible.
Wait,
You're
one
just
sec,
getting
one sec.
3v1'd, right? Like you're not
Yeah, yeah.
terrible at the game. You're just getting 3v1'd, and that's okay. Like you're gonna lose that in most cases. It's 3 people versus you, man. But like you don't have to do that, right? And if like a solo leaderboard existed for solely like the solo experience, would that make you happier? That's my question.
No, I don't think so. I was just more sharing my experience from prior playtest to this playtest. I felt like in prior playtest, I was able to get into high roller and there were other solos out there, and you were able to kind of pull off a lot more in the past than you were this time around. I don't know whether it should be different in any way. Just observations.
I think that's the issue with adding the Goblin Cave. Like, there are going to be way less solos in the normal mode since everyone else wants to trio now, and all the solos go to the Goblin Cave instead. So
I don't think we need a solo leaderboard, but I do think that it would be. I'm not gonna say easy, but we already have solo Goblin Cave. Why can't we have solo Goblin Cave HR?
You know what I would love to see?
There would
And
be
a
lot
leaderboard
of
for that as
future in
well.
there because
Well,
there's
you-
11 players and usually only 1 or 2 escape, so that place would be
It'd be
like
spicy.
devastation. Yeah.
It would be the real solo experience.
You know what I would love to see, personally, if I were to make any change to the leaderboard, is on that leaderboard showcasing, like, you could hover over a name and see percentage of group, right? They did 90% of this solo, 10% of it with group, so you could actually scroll through and kind of get a synopsis of what is happening on that leaderboard, more or less. So, like, not more leaderboards, just a bit more details when like, be able to see, like, I don't know, what weapons have they been using the most? Are they playing with a group? Are they playing solo? I think that would be an amazing addition. Not because you don't want too many boards to have to scroll through to see, what's
Right.
going on there. But being able to see, like, I know for people who like the solo, they like that achievement. They're doing it for themselves, or they're doing it to show off, or whatever reason you're doing it. I think giving people the recognition of, they're doing it with this or that restrictions on themselves or whatever. It'd be cool to see in the leaderboard.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I feel like they have a lot to add, which is good because it's still playtest and we want to see more stuff. And I like the idea of adding stats because Tarkov has those type things where you can see all your player stats, kills, and all the mischievous things that you could do as a character. But I feel like that's a little much. So if they could take from that, take from Tarkov, but add stats like kills, deaths, all that stuff, that'd be good. Swag, your mic.
On the topic of stats, I was thinking
Mute him,
this might
Hansel.
be an easy
I'm
fix
trying.
where it'd be at the end of every game, it at least show how many kills you got, like split throughout your team. Just so
I'll
kinda
message him.
whether that
Yeah.
be for like a tournament setting or just for the person like me who's like, oh, I wonder how many kills it got. I think it got 5. Let's say Steve got like 7. Like it's nice to know, nice to see what you're doing.
End of game stats is one of my high desirables for this game for sure because I'm not like a long-term stat person. I don't care about like the leaderboard going on for months or whatever, but I want to know, like, in my stat performance game per game, am I getting better? Am I getting worse? Like that would be great to see instead of just having to check the leaderboard and kind of guess and assume based off what is current.
They
And
should even
something
go-
like I think something like Apex Legends, what they do. You see your kills, assists, damage done. I think that would be really interesting to see.
Well, one thing they go further, and this is kind of similar to what Nazori was saying, is like whoever's like say top or anybody on the leaderboard, and you'd have the option, I guess, for public or private, even if it's just like a profile card, like number of raids done, all their stats, like survival rating, again, favorite weapon, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, healing amount, damage
Yeah,
taken, all this sort of stuff would be super cool. And just hover over a name, get, a little pop-up would appear with 10 to 20 different little pieces of information. I think people would love to see that.
Yeah.
How do we feel about an assist leaderboard?
An assist.
Yes.
Azadim number
Ghani's
one?
idea.
Question mark.
Man.
Azadim boosted man gets number one. Yes. No, yeah,
There's
clerics
a
would
lot
go
of
crazy.
underappreciated clerics out there. That's all I'm
Alright,
saying.
alright,
That's
fine.
true.
I
Yes.
appreciate that. Totally appreciate
Yeah.
I
Also,
appreciate
Paulo.
you for saying that.
Cleric life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would
Keep it
be.
cleric, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
fucking phenomenal. They have a lot that they
Dude,
have.
we're-
They could do some shit with this game, man.
I mean, they're doing
Where's
some
the-
shit with this game. Get ready. Are you guys ready for quests and forests with 32
Yes.
players? Like, that's gonna be nuts, dude. 32 people? Shit.
I
I'm
hope
Can't
the,
wait
I'm already
for,
scared of rangers in a confined space. I don't need a forest.
I hope the spawns are fucked. That's all I got to say.
True.
Forest would be easier, man. The problem with rangers is they could just spam arrows into a narrow doorway and wait for you to walk through it. Give me an
Mhm.
open field. At least I can run around and dodge some shit.
Yeah. What
can't
were you
wait
saying?
for buff ball in a forest.
Yeah. What were you saying,
With
Nefix?
32 people.
I was gonna say, where's the cleric weapon in the tavern?
Oh, true.
cleric stat.
Where's the
book?
mace or the book? Yeah, book. True. A book would be nice. Yeah. Where's the book for Jay last playtest? Hey.
True.
Hey. Yeah. I don't know. I think VA is a little scuffed in the main Discord, but we don't need to talk about that. But I think some stuff's getting a little scuffed up because of egos and whatnot. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Every game will have that though.
Yeah. But I'm glad they're adding shit like that. It makes people want to grind like Orlanthi or Jay or Ken or literally all of us. Grind to get that kinds of cool little add-ons that make it possible for us to actually feel good about ourselves for not just sitting here for 30 hours a day grinding our cheeks off sitting in a chair, but like actually have a thing to feel good about. Because it's it's a game and a lot of people are gonna see that, right? A lot of people are going to see your name on the item that's in the tavern, and that's that's something that's like you should feel good about.
Definitely.
All right, so solos is okay. All right, what did we think about not only buff ball, but how are the support how is the support going for everybody? Like I know everybody was running cleric, wizard, whatever. Not only buff ball, but did that really affect the style of the game? I know Narek definitely learned and used it the most, and I know it works. And no respect for anybody that uses it because it's smart. It's a smart play. But should they or should they not add things to limit the buffs and the support? Because I know they're gonna add Bard and Monk and all the other classes that can also support.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the diminishing effects of buffs? And all the supports that can be in the game, because I know supporting is going to be one of the main factors of this game.
Buzz.
You got it.
Quest go first.
You're good.
I don't have to say this later.
You're good.
I personally do not support in a 3-man setup. I think 2 supports is not reasonable / busted, and I think that 2 people are not enjoying the game in that setup, and 1 person is. You know what I'm saying? And there's also 3 losers on the other end of that setup. So I really, in my terms, I bet it's enjoyable. I haven't personally enjoyed it myself, but I think that it should be in a 3-man setup. It shouldn't be a thing. There should be 1 support and 2 enjoyers, and there's really very few count.
I think people enjoy support.
Can I finish?
Though.
Can I please?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
In the setup, if you run it right and you know what you're doing, in our level of gameplay, there's 0 to 1 counters, which is running the exact same thing or just running and trapping. You know what I'm saying? Constantly kiting. Those are your 2 counters: running the same comp or trapping and kiting. I could be wrong, but in my terms, right now, where people are running it in the very high end of the comp, it's ruining the game for new players and any player who's trying to enjoy a comp that doesn't involve 2 supports. That's especially with more supports coming into the game, it worries me. It worries me a lot.
I know we all have differing opinions about this. I don't want this to get too heated. So if it gets too heated, we'll change the topic. But
turn up the heat. Let's go.
Yeah. So I know we all have our own opinions about this, and it's good that people are actually getting concerned about it, because that means that it needs to be changed, right? Because if nobody was concerned about it, the devs wouldn't care. But I know a lot of people are getting really concerned about it. And it's not only just the bar buff ball, but cleric wizard X or support X, right?
Buzz. Buzz.
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, Naz, you go first, brother.
Okay. So I have a opinion on something that we should maybe be requesting for this topic. So
sure.
Well, first off, I want to say I love playing support cleric. I think people love that playstyle. I don't think that more support is bad or anything, or two support meta is bad. But I will say that we saw a balance at the end where they nerfed haste on the wizard, in order to clearly nerf the meta, right, of hasting barbs. I would love to more see better nerfs in the proper way in those manners. If support melee is like too strong or something like that, I think I would like to see a nerf that's more along the lines of haste now only lasts 6 seconds on allies, right, or something like that, and then instead you still get the full duration on yourself, but nerf it when buffing others. Because
Right.
I feel like there is definitely a really strong meta of buff your barb, send them forward, and if that's a problem, we should be nerfing that ability in a way that just puts a little caveat at the end that just says if you're buffing an ally, it does less duration or something like that. Instead
Gotcha.
of because like I was playing wizard and then they nerfed the haste and I was like, well, this sucks.
Mm.
Like, I don't think I was too strong like by myself.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
don't
I
know.
get you. Yeah,
All right, now I'll buzz. Now I'll buzz.
You're good.
So my take is that this is essentially like any endgame MMORPG, and what you all are saying is that two support characters were feeling too strong, and I'm actually on the opposite side, and I say that it was perfect. They discovered a meta, but we discovered how to counter that meta at the end because people stopped running that kind of buff ball, and they would have either two barbs, two fighters, two rangers. They'd have traps down. They'd have an invisible rogue. And that barb only W keys. That is the only purpose of the barbarian in that situation. And they would run into their death almost universally. I watched Narek do it a bunch of times all the way until he rage quit. And
Mhm.
that there's a little drama on that. Maybe he didn't rage quit because of that. But I saw with my own eyes, even solo rogue, I would go stealth and just watch things. The barbs would just run in because they were super buffed, and they would get smoked because they'd be separated from their team, or like a rogue would come out of stealth behind them, and now the other, the cleric can't help the barb. He's literally in a ball of his own doom. And so I think they were being punished for that at the end. It was really strong at the start, but people caught on and they just let them run in, and then they got stomped because they were by themselves, hasted in Viz and like thinking they were God, and then they would just die. And now it's 3v2.
Yeah.
Sounds like I
I'm
missed one.
buzzing.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's
I
all good.
agree with Strange on a lot of what he's saying because what he's describing right now is just the flow of balance. It's how things work. It's how League of Legends work. There's not enough time in this playtest to really know what's busted and what's not because it requires an extended period of time to see how players adapt to meta. It's why whenever a game has multiple regions, the meta is usually different in each region because the player bases are discovering different things and countering things with different approaches. So I think without a playtest that's at least a month long, it's really hard to say for sure if something's overpowered.
I agree with that in the fact that early meta buff ball is broken. No, like early meta without gear, double support is just straight up almost unfightable.
We're also talking. You're saying the meta changed or people figured out that was post nerf. They nerfed haste,
Yep.
and then suddenly it was beatable. Which I will say it probably still was the strongest thing to be played is a cleric, a fighter, and a one ranged. Whether it's wizard or whether it's a ranger, whatever.
A wizard who
it was
knew
still
how to like invisa or haste and then actually play his class with that's
but
and that's what
like-
I'm arguing is like top end gameplay.
Give me
I'm
one
never
sec.
arguing bottom mediocre entry
saying
gameplay.
that we figured out saying that we figured out how to beat it, I think is inaccurate.
Better?
Just because it got nerfed.
Better?
Yeah,
Chat,
no,
better?
it has been nerfed.
It's
It has been
really
nerfed.
loud for me,
3-second
but not
reduction
you
on
guys.
haste from 11
It's
to
really
8
loud for
isn't,
me.
That didn't nerf
Here,
the
did this
death
make it even
ball,
louder?
like,
Here, this
that
should
made
be, this should be fine. Hold on.
haste slightly
Yeah,
nerfed.
it was a
we
bad
just
nerf.
learned to counter that gameplay.
There we go. That should
I
be good,
agree.
right?
It was a big nerf. 3
By
seconds off
kiting.
iteration.
It's a huge nerf.
Yeah.
I think what made it countered was in the early, the barb has a big advantage with just his base strength stat.
Better chat, better.
Gives him a lot of HP and a lot of
OBS, enhancing
damage.
OBS. I could do that.
So then once
You right,
people
you
start
right, you
getting
right.
gear a couple days in, they
Yes,
start
better.
being able
Okay,
to have
cool.
the potential.
It's really
of
loud for me, but it's fine.
executing the
I'll
barb
just,
really
I'll do,
quickly,
I can just turn
especially when
down
ganked
my
up.
own headset.
Because the
Just to
barb
chime in.
loses his armor.
I'll just do that.
Mhm.
So I think early wipe like everyone who was playing.
Like I can turn it down and up, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody else,
These
but
barbs
I'll just turn
got
down my
this
own
false
headset.
sense of security that they could just play like complete idiots.
But it should
and
be
still
same
win.
loud for you guys.
And then later they just continued to play the idiots and didn't play smart and got beat by the meta. But in reality, if they were just playing with their brains and using the OP comp, they would still be winning.
I think if
how
you're
old is
talking
she?
meta, I
Apollo?
think you would switch out the barb early, and then you put in a geared fighter with a lot of damage reduction, and then
kind
buff
of-
ball that way if you really want to be meta.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm saying. A lot of this is like a lot of what we're saying right now is a lot of speculation. Like we're saying if the barbs played well, but we just don't have the data, right? And that's kind of why I'm hesitant to really put a pin on where it's at.
About the buff ball, by the way. I think we've talked a lot about the haste, but we
Well,
never spoke
yeah.
about slow.
It's
Like
a,
the
it's
slow
a toss
is
up
actually
between buff
crazy.
ball fighter and a buff ball barb, but at the end of the day, that's where my initial argument is. Like 2 supports and a 3-man setup, 2 supports. Maybe all 3 players are enjoying it, but it's just like busted strong against almost every other comp at the high end. You know what you're doing, you know what's going on gameplay. And I hope that they adjust that where like you can't apply certain buffs together anymore. That's all. I'm not saying like you can't do it. I'm not saying that's not allowed in the game anymore, or like we even had enough time to test what's currently there. But in my current, like what I've seen, buff ball just fucking dominates compared to anything else. Not
Yeah.
even by the slightest fucking hand, but like by a margin. And that's not cool to me. Like it ruins the game for other people, other comps, and at the lower end, like the casual end, where you only get to play 4 to 8 hours a week. Like I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe it ruins their game because like it's just fucking shot.
Yeah, there's definitely a
I felt
meta.
like you
there's
could-
there's definitely a meta, and we all know that there's always gonna be some kind of meta. But to touch on what you said earlier about people not liking support, as we all know, there's games like Overwatch, League. People do enjoy supporting other people. Not in the sense of Azadim's like I'm the boosted carry, but like people, you got to take credit. Like people are saying, clerics are undervalued. They're still playing a part, and without them, you would not be able to achieve what you're doing. So in the aspect, people do like playing support, and those are the people that will play support, right? Some people that don't enjoy it are the people that aren't gonna play it, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes, yes, it could be a little boring just because the game is the game, not just because it's a support class, but because the game is the game. That's why it becomes boring, right?
No.
If
Can I
I'm being
speak
real,
up on that?
support is like some of the most skill expressive gameplay in the game at the moment. Like be a good cleric who knows like how to heal, how to buff, then also how to swap to his weapon and be a frontline when he has to, and then having that
communicate.
variance. Yeah, and communicate. Like the support in this game is some of the highest skill expression out there. Like I don't think we should be nerfing that. Like that's like we should have more of that.
I wholesale agree. And going back to I'm going to work from the buff ball forward. Sorry, I didn't get to say a lot, but the buff ball was very strong for me in our team because we played against it a lot. My general term was cleric, barb, and ranger. So we ran into buff ball a lot in the high roller climb, and we lost to it immensely, almost hands down every time when we didn't get a chance to set up a trap. Now, saying that our comp didn't fight well against their comp is kind of true, but kind of not. We only have one map in high roller, and that map is very enclosed and outside of the ring, of course, and they know better to engage you on open ground like that. They're going to be coming around the corner at Mach fucking 10 in your grill and just beat you to death. So if our comp met them out in the open with rooms to actually do stuff, then yeah, we could counter a buff ball. So maybe it's also a little bit of a map issue. Not saying it's not incredibly strong. It truly is. And then working into the support skill expression in this game is immense. Being able to land your heals in a fight while under stress, communicating to your team how much heals you got left. Do you have big ones? Do you have the little fast ones? Do you have shield? Do you have bless? I run 10 spells, so DS and bless. And then not healing the enemy when you're sanctuary. When you're down to the nitty gritty and you jump crouch sanctuary heal, and you got to make sure you zone them out of the bubble while healing your team. It's immense. It's fun. It's incredible. Are clerics too strong? Maybe a little bit, but I feel like that's more of a buff ball issue. And then toward the late game where the buff ball switched from barbarian to clearly fighter, because fighter scaled way better with full kitted. That's where it became a little bit like almost unstoppable. Of you land kitted ranger landing 6 or 7 headshots and them still running at you like it didn't even hurt. Was
I
horrifying.
love you right now, Paolo. I love you so much. Thank you. I feel like I see that at least someone else sees my view, and I appreciate you. That's where I'm saying, like, at the end, it very almost clearly became Wizzy gives fucking his haste, and then Cleric's buffing the fighter. Wizzy goes in, fighter goes in, and it's game over. You have almost 0 options unless you have pre-traps and rooms cleared. Like, there's very, very, very few options.
And I agree that could very much so be a map issue too. Like I said, it's
First of all, we had more than
able
one
to
map in
scale.
HR.
Yeah, the rim map is what I meant. The
Yeah,
other
yeah.
one did. And I noticed on that map we had a bit much more success either scaling the tower, setting up first, or being able to do the rim. But in the rooms outside of it, that's where they knew to engage you at. That's where they knew the pressure came from, is being able to close the gap, short distance, unaware, in your face. So it's very strong. It could be leaned more to the lack of maps.
I gave counter argument to
go ahead,
the
Nebix.
bus ball and stuff. Alright, so most comps had like a cleric wizard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah,
at least
cleric
that
wizard
was like
something.
the meta. So if you have cleric wizard, like melee, like another melee, like a fighter or a barb is not really a problem if you play 10 spells wizard, for example. Because a wizard, like you can haste and invis your teammate and yourself. And you also can slow 5 times on the barb. That's like 12 seconds of minus 40% movement speed. I don't think people were using this enough to counter this. Because like I was playing some wizard and the barb couldn't touch me. He could only kill me with throwing axes. And like I could boost my teammates too and they can focus him. So
Right. And that goes back to the we didn't
And
figure
also
out the
binds.
counter to the meta until later.
yeah, you can spam bind him, judgment him, slow him. Like the barb can't play the game against a good wizard and good cleric.
But what about a fighter with sprint? You're slowing a fighter with sprint, maybe now
He will
available.
die even faster.
Yeah,
because
the
he has
fighter
no
actually is
resist.
worse because
I
he
would like to
if you have a
move
good
past
wizard
the
anyway.
death ball if
Tankier, yeah,
possible.
he's tankier with stealth-heal, right?
Yeah, that's true. But it depends on the skill cap of your people you're playing with as well. Sorry, so bad. But yeah, if you have a good wizard and a good cleric, a fighter's not a problem in a buff ball situation because, like Apollo was saying, it's definitely a map difference because if there's a narrow hallway, both melee classes are going to have a much easier time. All right, so bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think we've had both sides of the argument pretty well said, and we should move to the next topic.
All right, got you. I feel that. All right, next topic. I will say I haven't.
Well, before we move on, can we maybe talk about other good comps that we think that are decent besides
true.
Buffball?
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
we're talking about comps.
Oh
and stuff.
yes,
You're good.
please. Hell yeah.
Ranger Barb Cleric is good. I feel like.
I felt like the 2 Ranger Fighter was really strong, especially
Yeah,
when you got
that
the circle map. That was
was
really strong.
underrated. Underrated
Mhm.
comp for sure.
Mhm.
Triple Ranger.
Triple Ranger.
double
That's
cleric.
toxic.
Triple Ranger is nice.
Triple wizard.
Triple Wizard.
Double
That was
cleric
good too.
ranger. Double cleric ranger is my vote because that
Mm.
nobody saw the melee cleric with the support cleric. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Double cleric with a ranger. That was pretty fun. I
Do y'all want to hear
strong,
what
bro.
I feel was the most scariest and most dangerous comp in the entire game?
RMP.
What? That's a good one. Solo fucking mage. Solo wizard was horrifying. Anytime I saw any of y'all in that lobby with me, I
Hashtag
was
J.
terrified.
Hashtag Ken.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah. It's like, well,
Anybody?
chain lightning fireballs. Because they don't have to worry about hitting anybody. They don't have to worry where anyone else is.
Wizard
Pure
Unleashed.
domination.
When I hear chain lightning being charged, I literally W key in the opposite direction.
Bro,
No joke. I'm like,
I
they don't
think-
even have to hit me. They just hit anything around me.
I think
I'm
that's a
fine.
universal.
Time for me to get the fuck up out of here.
It's a
The-
universal thing. If you hear chain lightning, you're
funniest-
just like, I'm out. So
Is when a wizard goes to engage in your group and you hear the lightning charge up and you're like, oh no, we're all fucking dead. And then all of a sudden it's a lightning strike and you're like, you're an idiot. You took lightning strike, not chain lightning. What a sigh of relief.
Jay would have a different opinion.
Yeah, I
would
mean,
have-
like-
it's not that bad, but it's not going to
Hey.
one-shot my entire team.
Did anyone try triple cleric with judgment?
Oh, I
think
ran,
so.
I ran into a squad that was doing that actually.
That would be
Oh my
so
god.
good.
I
Terrifying.
tried it day one
Every
at
time I
wipe
played
and
solo.
We got stomped, dude. Like the Rangers and the Mages just annihilated us with 3 clerics. I really thought it was gonna work though. I think if you can judgment the first character in their party, 3x judgments. Now it's
That guy's
3v2, but like
bind
after that
judge.
you have nothing, and like everyone else is just like shooting us.
I don't know. You have heals and shields. Couldn't you just charge on people?
Maybe it was a skill
Yeah,
gap,
well,
but
yeah,
like my squad
that's a
couldn't
skill
do it.
issue for
That would counter the buff
There's
ball.
a lot going on with clerics that people who haven't played cleric don't realize. Like you have to be able to swap to your book, switch to the right heal or possibly buff, drink your drink your fucking pot, go in with your shield, block at the right time, hit them, back up, do the melee dance. Like cleric is very high skilled, but it is one of the best fucking classes in the game. Do not get me wrong. Like it is slept on by a margin, and I'm sure as it develops, like it will be more and more used. Not even 1 cleric, but 2 clerics.
Right.
I also think Rogue is incredibly strong, and people just haven't really figured out the skill ceiling on it because, like, even like we're saying with the Death Ball, if the first character, if their melee is going to run past you, and then you just go back there and you kill their wizard and their cleric, because the Rogue, when it actually had some gear, was sort of just 3-shotting everybody. And sure, it's like kind of weak and out in the open, it's going to get hurt by their range, but I mean, the other thing is I didn't really see. And I watch all your guys' content. I didn't really see a lot of people utilizing invisibility potions, but where are my squads that use 3 invis potions and then just auto annihilate anyone who's W keying? So like the Death Ball just W keys around the map, like they're asking to get smoked.
I ran into a squad, all 3 of them running invis potions. They didn't stand a chance. We walk around the corner, see like 3 white outlines, hear them all drinking pots. It's very loud. And
Depressed would know all about
the
the
invis pots.
skill ceiling on the Rogue.
They don't last long enough, and they just like you can hear them from a mile away. So if you're anywhere near them, a minute. But if you're within a minute's range, you can hear them drinking it. It's the problem.
If they changed the loudness of the potions, it would actually be viable. All right, I want to hear from Depressed about the solo Rogue. What was the plays on that?
At the solo Rogue, when you play a solo, you don't try to go for the 1v3s at least. That's what I try. If you go solo, you just try to survive and pick smart fights, like the ones that you win. Never try to run at people. But one thing that I realized is that people doesn't know how OP is smoke bomb on Rogue.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, Rogue was like, it was a little slip on this playtest, I feel like.
Rogue is not a character meant to be like face tanking. He just ambush, smoke bomb, and leave the fight. You don't have to do. You just take 1 target and leave because you cannot do anything more. If you are out of height, you cannot fight them. They will one-shot you. If they are good, I'm talking against fighting a good squad, not people with greens,
Right.
That's why most people quit Rogue, because they were used to just stomp people with rapier, one-tapping everyone running to the lobby, but that's not the point of Rogue. That's how I feel.
I didn't see any rogues playing around their cooldowns. They would always bust their cooldowns and then just keep going. And I think Depressed is right. They should have left and then waited.
Because rogues are used to watch some videos of they just going inside 1v3 with rapier, killing and dodging abilities, but that's not possible if the squad enemy is decent enough. So after talking with Nevix, we made a conclusion about the best comp that might be Wizard, Ranger, and Rogue. Like, without Wizard can kill fighters very easy, Ranger can kill Barbarian very easy, and Rogue can take care of the backline. With the smoke bomb, made him very easy to survive. Like, when you get one, you just smoke bomb, and you make time for your teammates to come in, and that's
that
very
was
strong. And people didn't realize it.
That looked like a great comp I saw from you guys. You guys were very utilizing that much for sure. Since Snitsy, since you just got here, we were on the topic of like solo play and the best comp. What do you think was the best solo class, and then what was the best comp you saw, Snitsy?
Coming from OCE, I don't think I saw anyone playing solo unless they were naked in the first floor. Most of the time, I saw multiple ranges or the buff ball going on. I tried playing solo Wiz, and I had a miserable first 3 days. I was pretty much naked the whole time because I never survived. But as soon as I got one more person playing with me, we just took off. So I think they really changed the game a lot.
Yo, Tepo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome in, welcome to the dungeon, welcome to the den, baby. Roar.
They don't want people to play.
You guys
solo.
can't hear my sound, but it's a lion roaring. I can hear it, but you can't because the audio's on OBS.
Wiz, it was probably a rogue, and they would definitely sort me out pretty quick.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know the solo. This playtest was definitely undervalued. I know Jay again. Like I know you played solo and had a struggle the first day. What was that like? What was that like? What was the struggle like? The solo whiz at the very beginning.
Hard to adjust.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So last playtest, if anybody didn't know, when we saw the stats come out from the last day, 60% of the game was played solo. So I don't know what happened this playtest, what they wanted to do with solo, but 60% of the game was played solo last playtest, which is crazy numbers.
The stats aren't out yet, but I'm sure. Sorry.
No, you're good. You go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm sure that the numbers probably still similar, but all the solo players are now in the Goblin Cave, so they're not going to be doing the main dungeon anymore.
Right.
Something I would like to see, and I think the strongest solo class was Ranger, not because of what it was capable of doing, like to other players, but it was pretty strong. It could be argued that it was probably the best thing to be running around with, because you could get a lot of kills via traps. But the ability to just clear the PvE on your own, the Ranger was one of the only classes that had that. And I would really love to see, like, you could pull it off with Wizard, you could pull it off with Fighter, but like the Rogue really did not have great options. The Barb really did not have great options. The Cleric also didn't actually have great options. Like, when it came down to just like clearing high roller PvE, you had the cheese things. You know what I mean? And I really want to see more just utility for some of these classes. Like I'd love to see something for each class to have a bit more solo utility. I don't know what the options are for each one, but like I think for rogues and barbs, you should be able to recover your thrown axes and daggers out of PvE. Because it was just, I don't know, like trying to run through every single one, trying to do it solo. Ranger was just a breeze, and every other one was just like, this is torture. I'm staring at a mob and I can't, like, I don't want to trade with it. I'm in high roller. I don't know. Didn't like it.
Ranger's always going to be that class that's like very powerful. You're good, Depressed. Go ahead.
But the idea of this game is to be played as free, not as one. Like the main idea when they made this game is what to be free be free. That's what I think.
But you don't want to balance the game around solo, but providing the option to go it alone, I think is fine.
Yeah, we all want to be able to go solo, but we all know the game's meant to be played with 3 people.
Go solo. The problem is that you cannot take that fight that you want. Like you cannot be greedy and you cannot.
No, we're not talking about PvP. Like we're not talking about a solo being able to take on a 3-man. We're not talking about PvP balance. I'm talking about, being able to recover a dagger after throwing it at a skeleton. You want to pull that skeleton over to you, and instead you have to walk up to it, pull the entire room as a rogue, get shot by archers, where the ranger is just sitting there pinging him. Yeah, already has that room cleared before you even thought about it.
Yeah, the PvE for the ranger or any ranged class was definitely very strong this playtest compared to the melees solo.
Even on that note,
go ahead, Dizzy. You're good.
Even on that note, like if you're a new player and you spawn into the game, I think almost all classes, bar a few, don't have a bandage or a heal. So like if you're a rogue and you try and fight your first skeleton and you cop that hit, you're on not like 80% of your health gone for that whole dungeon until you find a bandage or something. Whereas Rangers got that food. I don't even think Barb had a bandage, did they?
No, they don't.
No.
Like there's a lot of classes that people would play for the first time. And they would take some damage from the PvE, which was pretty hard if you're a new player. And they pretty much don't have a recovery from that, which, leads people to just go and play something they feel more comfortable on, which would be like a ranger. Fighter's got they got that one heal, which a lot of people I saw using it on PvE half the time. So you sort of wait that out. You see them fighting a skeleton from the other side of the room, and they'd pop their second wind, and then you're like, all right, he's used that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people from the OCE lobbies as well. Like you just see people the whole kill feed was just PvE deaths. You're trying to catch up to them before they die. But I noticed that 90% of the OCE lobbies were rangers, especially high player. Like you'd come out of. I played the final days as a triple wizard just for the memes, and we would just you would just find so many rangers at the high level with like maybe one or two that would have like a support class with them or a barb, but majority of players are just on ranger.
It's unparalleled as far as new player friendliness, and I just think every class should have some sort of option.
So something I kind of wanted to drop off, I think it goes into this category a little bit. For the people that are trying to play solo or like they don't have friends to play with and stuff like that, how would we all feel if there was like an implementation of maybe some solo skills where it's like kind of caters to the character differently, but can only be used if you play without teammates?
Like
I know
the skill
Icarus
tree?
kind of implemented that.
Or
Like
just
I
be
don't
able
know
to
if it's
bring
like a
those
skill.
things.
Yeah.
You know, like the ranger could bring a ration, right? You could obviously once you started getting into higher level play, you would replace that. But like the barb, it would be great if the barb could bring a perk to make bandages heal more. You're obviously never going to bring that in a team situation because what are you going to lose 10% of your damage so your bandages heal for 5 more or something?
Right.
But being able to take something and go, listen, I'm alone. I need that extra bit to be able to solo my way through this. I'd love to see some more utility options.
I agree. I think they have a lot. They have a lot of room for those. Sorry, Paulo.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I know what you're going to say, Hans. I feel like, sorry, excuse my animals. I feel like there's going to be a lot more improvement as far as the PvE utility. I mean, Barb has their fear, you know, that they can use. There's nothing for fighter PvE outside of its heal. I feel like there's going to be a taunt or something along the way.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I mean they should definitely add more utility for solos, not only in that PvP aspect, PvE, but just in general. But the game, like we all know, the game's a playtest, and they have a big vision. They said, and they can add so much shit that could be crazy. What up, laughing? And we all know that that the devs are capable, and if they like this is a good way to show them that we all are either agreeing or disagreeing, or we have opinions on something and it needs to be fixed or needs to be changed. So this is another way to show the devs that we all care and we want, you know, their games to do good and that they have the potential to make a very good game. And we're stretching a little bit far. It's been an hour and a half. Thank you again for everybody coming out. Even if you've been late, you know, Snitsy, thank you again for coming. Thank you, everybody. Apollo, double Apollos, which is crazy.
I'm upside down. I'm sorry I'm late.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're not late. Like I said, this is a thing where everybody can come in, just chat a little bit, do what you know, talk about the game. We all love Dark and Darker, so we all have that common thing, and it's okay. Cross Current, Depressed, Jay, Ken, Latex, Laughing, Lindstrom, Nazori, Nevix, Snitsy, Sobad, Spam, Tryhard, and Vander. Thank you all for coming out today. You guys are amazing people. I'm glad we all love Dark and Darker and want this game to go far, because we all know this day and age games are crashing, and it's a travesty.
Yeah.
One final topic, if we all can agree on one topic that we're going to talk about. I ran out of topics because I didn't think we were going to go this far for an hour and a half. But one last topic we can all talk about. You guys are all free to go if you want. If you guys want to stay and keep talking to each other, that's up to you guys. I'm going to go ahead and stream and you know, thank you again for coming out. One topic, if you guys want to, last topic to talk about until you guys, you know, want to leave. What topic do you guys want to talk about? If anybody has any ideas.
I have one idea. Is just I want to know how everyone feels playtest before early access.
All right. Thank you for coming out, everybody. Thank you, chat, for all the follows today. Thank you for everybody coming out, listening to all the boys. We're gonna keep doing these every playtest, every so often. We're gonna keep talking about everything, and it's gonna be fucking phenomenal. Okay, don't miss out. All these guys are massive, huge, crazy, amazing individuals, and you know, go hit them all with the follows. What most of these guys stream, go hit them with a follow, go hit them with a sub, go show these guys loves. Thank you for all you guys coming out. I didn't really want to stream a whole stream today, especially with the, you know, doing this today. I will be streaming tomorrow. It'll be 12 p.m. CST. We'll be streaming new games, trying to figure out what game to play. We'll be D&D coping like always. And thanks again for all the follows. Thank you again for all the support. I appreciate it.